And Lawrence Frank telling us earlier he feels that spacing at the start of the game will be critical so we do not get trapped by the Pistons.
And in particular, he's talking about as they're bringing the ball up the floor after Detroit scores a basket, they have to keep their spacing so they don't get jumped, double-teamed, trapped without recognizing what's going on.
Foul on Rasheed Wallace. That was back in late January. Kittles at the line. That's the first point of the night. He is the youngest head coach in the NBA. Began his head coaching career with 13 consecutive wins. Team that went through the injuries to their two key players, Kidd and Martin. Team was sold during the course of the year as Rodgers. Here's Kittles for three. Yes. Kerry Kittles, who played a major role in the first-round series against the Knicks. What a job Kittles did with help against Stephon Marbury.
Well, I think Kittles, in one of the recent articles, showed the pride that he has at the other end of the floor in his defense. He said, look, I've been known as an offensive player since I came in the league. He said, I'd like to think I work at the other end. Punch the ball inside, two-time scores for the big men. This time, punch it in, kick it out, perimeter shot.
7 unanswered points by the Pistons. Kittles with the step. Nice move by Kerry Kittles. Detroit up by 1. Up front with Ben Wallace and Prince. O'Cool with the return pass that is picked off by Rodgers. Here's Kittles for three. Yes, that's his second from downtown.
Kerry Kittles feeling it. I mean, he's slapping his hands, calling for the ball as he's sprinting down the floor. He knows he's got it going right now.
Kittles with 10 of the Nets. 14 points. New Jersey up by 2.
We talked about a guy who wants it in his hands. Kerry Kittles wants it in his hands. He knows he's got it going. He calls for it from downtown. He strokes another jumper for the Nets.
And there is the man with the hot hand, Kerry Kittles, who played through a sore right knee earlier this season. He's had surgery on that knee 3 times, missed the entire 2000-2001 season, and he has come back strong.
He was told he may never play again after that last surgery, but here right in the beginning, he likes the three-point look from downtown. Shows he can also put it on the floor with the lefty finish, and then in transition, pitch ahead, pull up, hit one more three-pointer for Kerry Kittles.
He thought he was fouled. Hamilton forcing, handled by Jefferson. And the Nets have tightened it up defensively in these opening minutes. Kittles from downtown.
Well, you know, one of the big factors that you look at on the stat sheet is the fact that New Jersey, Ben probably felt that was going to be a little bit short and just trying to be a good teammate, wanted to help him out. There's a late pass to Kittles, Kidd to Kittles.
70-53, Detroit.
3 minutes gone by. Nets 0 for 5 from the field. Richard Jefferson tries to take it in his own hands. Lost it. Kittles will get the jumper. And the first points of the night for New Jersey.
They might defend 7 feet and in better than any team in the NBA, the Pistons.
When you get it shooting 19 of 70 in game 1, hearing questions for the last 3 days about it.
Well, they're not going to shoot a high percentage in this series, but can they get up enough field goal attempts to compensate for that?
That foul was on Lindsey Hunter. The last foul, though Rasheed Wallace did the most protesting, the last foul was credited to Richard Hamilton, and that's his second foul. They have Richard Hamilton.
Let's be honest, playing poorly and being in the New York media market has to be a miserable experience.
Already. How about the...
Well, to make a boxing analogy, this Pistons defense is Tommy Hearns. That Pistons defense was Marvin Hagler.
Nice, I like that. Kidd thought about the three, Kittles took it and made it as Rasheed Wallace came to the deck. George, when we went to timeout, you said maybe too late.
I think Larry went a little overboard with that last part of the comment.
Yeah, and talking to Larry, the mistake is he said just those words of saying anybody can coach. The block shot, Nets off on the fast break, out in transition once again. Kittles with the layup.
Good calls,
Thank you very much. Well done. You should do play-by-play. Well, it had the distance. I think it drifted left a little bit.
Drifted, okay.
Oh!
Meanwhile, the Pistons cannot buy a bucket. Here comes Kittles, 2-on-1. Nice return by Jefferson.
I don't know if there are two faster wings in the league on the fast break than Richard Jefferson and Kerry Kittles.
We've played 5.5 minutes of the game, and right now it's 11-0 in fast break points in favor of New Jersey.
The Nets jumping on the Pistons here at the start, and they have done it with their normal style of basketball.
It starts with the rebound. Kenyon Martin already has 5 in this game before he went to the bench with 2 fouls, but Martin knows who to look for. Kidd, who knows where his teammate Kittles is. Middle to side for the layup. And his big man involved, Kenyon Martin with the layup. And again, rebound, outlet. And watch this. Give it up, but get it right back again. The finish by Kerry Kittles. The numbers right now, 11-2 fast break points in favor of the Nets. In this series, it seems like he's been missing now for a long time from the action. Right now, Prince has 1 field goal attempt in 11 minutes of play.
Detroit in the midst of an 11-3 run. Kerry Kittles. 6 points for Kittles. Nets 40, Pistons 25. In 5, Milwaukee's only win taking place in Detroit. Kittles. Nice goal by Kerry Kittles. He went to the left hand and was able to switch over.
Not too often you go to the rim against Detroit and find no one there to try and challenge or block your shot.
Well, nice job by Jason Collins clearing the space by putting a body out of the Ben Wallace.
Kidd gets the pick. Met on a switch by Prince. Finding Kittles. Nice pass. Kittles is fouled. He was helped. Kittles upset with himself. Hoping to hit. And then head to the line looking for a 3-point play. Ben Wallace called for his second foul.
We'll see Kittles take off, and he goes into the defensive end that time. Watch him lean into his right at the last second. He knows there's a body coming. He knows who that body is. He doesn't want to get him rejected, so he just bumps him away a little bit with his shoulder.
Always better to take the ball right at a shot blocker rather than to fade away and try to shoot over him.
Well, there was a reason why I mentioned the number of free throws before by both these teams, because in game number 1, both teams had 21 free throw attempts. In game 2, one team had 24, one team 23. And I mentioned early on in the game tonight that players have to get the feel for how the game is going to go.
For Jefferson.
Did you see the way he changed the angle on the drive? He was afraid of picking up that charge.
Here comes Kittles. He has Jefferson. Kittles with the beautiful ball fake to take it the distance. Timeout call by Detroit.
This is lucky bounce. And then fake the pass, keep it myself, finish it off for Kerry Kittles.
And to gather some extra tickets for tonight's game. Kittles challenging O'Connor.
That move, little finger roll. We saw the right-handed jump hook off a post-up in the first half from Kittles, so he's pulling out the full repertoire tonight.
Kittles going right at the 6'11", the Meadow core. 16-point net lead. Kidd had it knocked away from behind by Williamson. Nice pass. Kittles is fouled, hammered by Phillips.
Kerry Kittles is smart enough to know when Kidd has the ball, let me move, because he'll find me if I'm open.
There's this on.
Jason Kidd might be just 2 for 14 from the floor, but watch when he gets himself down in the low post area. Kidd posting up. Notice how he turns his head looking to the inside of the floor, because what he's looking for is his teammate, Kerry Kittles, running a little back cut right there. He sees him right away with the pass. So 2 for 14 from the floor, but assist number 12 for Jason Kidd.
Would have been had the ball.
It would have been, yes.
Yes, it's all right.
A minor detail.
Czar has his own stat standards.
Well, when he makes this foul shot, then I'm going to give him an assist anyhow because his pass led to a score.
So you're changing
my own statistics. I have my own way of doing statistics.
Apparently.
That's up by 16.
Now it's an assist.
Well, doesn't he have to make the second one? He would only get half an assist if he misses the second one, I would think.
He is so confused, Steve.
So am I, frankly.
It's a good point to bring up, though, for statisticians.
Right.
Should you be awarded an assist if you have a pass that leads to 2 free throws?
Martin going at Ben Wallace. Rebounded by Kittles.
Well, great play by Kittles. And you're right, Mike. These officials, they have a difficult job. They can't call a foul every play, so they've got to try to maintain some rhythm to the game. But you're right, there is a foul happening out there every play.
Kittles from downtown. Jason Collins and Richard Hamilton having words. Double technicals have been handed out. The two players separated by the officials. So for the Czar, Mike Fratello, now to Ernie in our Atlanta studios for
Hamilton coming off a 15-point, 4 for 15 shooting game, as you mentioned. Game tied. Both teams are under 40% shooting in this series, and Kerry Kittles is fouled as Rip Hamilton was right on his hand.
Well, we saw Mike Bibby make a foul like that late in last night's contest in overtime that fouled him out. Anytime you've got a jump shooter 20 feet away from the basket and you hit him on the elbow, it's an easy call for the officials to make. The ball doesn't come anywhere close to the rim, and you've seen that it hasn't been blocked. So a very difficult play to make to actually get away with.
And when Bibby threw his headband into the crowd for a technical, that really hurt the Sacramento Kings. But here's Kerry Kittles, whose big contribution was on the defensive end against Phillips. Misses both free throws, although he did score 17 points in Game 3.
Well, he was quietly very effective, not only the 17 points, but 5 boards, 4 steals. He was 7 for 11 shooting. So only he and Richard Jefferson were very effective offensively.
15 games, many toward the end of the season. He says it is not bothering him.
Important for him to get off to an early start here with his shooting. That's a big one for Jason Kidd.
Phillips, and there's the fast break. Kittles from Kidd. So when you miss shots or turn the ball over, the Nets are going to run, as they did there.
And that's why Larry Brown talked before the game about the importance of sharing the ball, moving it early in the shot clock, and not taking quick shots, because it's those quick ones that lead to those easy buckets at the other end.
Nets have a 32-point edge in fast break points in this series.
Well, this is what they do. You know, they run and they get up and down the floor because of this guy, Jason Kidd.
Continuing to show the passion and energy that sparked their Game 3 victory. Jefferson, no look into the corner. Kidd still struggles for 3, but he'll give the Nets another chance. Kittles has the chance and makes the most of it. Kerry Kittles with a 3-pointer, the first of the game for the Nets.
You talked earlier in the game about Jason Kidd's importance. Even when he's missing shots, he does other things. How about him chasing down that offensive rebound and then finding Kerry Kittles for the wide open shot? That will not be showing up on the scoreboard tonight.
The old-fashioned fair play scoreboards that just had two places for numbers. That's all they need for this series.
That's right.
Kerry Kittles stepping back. Hamilton doing a good job. Jason Collins giving Kittles an opportunity, and he scores at the shot clock buzzer. So the magic continues for New Jersey and for Lawrence Frank. Wallace Rasheed setting a screen for Hamilton. And Rasheed Wallace's first shot. Rebound by Collins.
Once again, Kenyon Martin's aggressive defense on the post, forcing Wallace out.
Kittles with a 2. Kerry Kittles with a 2, very quietly getting the job done and coming back for the injuries he has achieved or experienced over his career, and this has got to be great for him.
Isn't it always the case that he does things quietly? We said that about him in Game 3 when he had 17 points. He's just one of those guys who gets things done. Not a lot of flash or flair, but a very effective
The game
player.
before the All-Star game, and it was a tough night for him, and when Mother's Day came around, it was especially tough for Ben Wallace, and he felt the effects and reflected afterwards. Kerry Kittles with another field goal Kittles. So Kittles coming out big, and he has 11 points. And at this rate, we're close to having 4 nets in double figures.
Well, Dick, again, in these defensive struggles, it's often a guy like Kittles who comes in and gets the hot hand who ends up being the difference.
Closing in on 3 minutes remaining in this game. A big 30-16 third quarter. Breaking open this game for the Nets. Kerry Kittles has 3 more. Kerry Kittles' second 3 of the game. 14 points, 1 balance right now. Kidd with 22, Jefferson 19, Martin 16, Kittles 14, Harris 11. You can't do better than that.
Well, and as balanced as New Jersey is.
Ben Wallace, who at times has been an offensive factor in the series, ties it at 4.
Well, but still, you look at the Nets on the made baskets even, they're pushing the ball fast. So Detroit definitely had better be ready to react and get back quickly.
Kerry Kittles is open and hit the shot. So how do you get energy when you don't have the crowd supporting you? That's the big question.
You've got to really come out, and it's got to be you against
can't
the
beat
world.
a team by letting them constantly beat you on the offensive boards. Defensive boards one thing, but offensive boards, you've got to make sure you keep them off of.
Kerry Kittles doing a number on Richard Hamilton, and here's Kittles for 3. Kittles off to a big start, has 5 points, and has hit both of his shots, and the Nets now opening up a 6-point lead.
And that's New Jersey's game. That's where they're at their best, getting the ball in transition off missed shots or off turnovers. They make you pay.
So the crowd late and quiet, we might add. Right now, let's take a look at our Gatorade X Factor of the game, and the Nets hope that Jason Kidd could come back and repeat what he did, the triple-double in the last game. Well, tell me.
Because he seems to play like a monster every time we're here.
And good passing by the Nets, but Lindsey Hunter can't convert. Battle for the loose ball, and here comes Kittles, and Jason Kidd leaves it for Kerry Kittles, the finger roll, and that produces a foul against Detroit. Again, the Nets fast breaking with a 10-point lead.
You see, and you're right about definitely getting back. And getting back, and you got to recognize who's back there. Once you stop the ball in immediate danger, you got to pick these guys up because the Nets are running with a purpose. They're not going to reset. They're coming with the idea of attacking you offensively.
And Mehmet Okur replacing Rasheed Wallace, and right now let's send it to D-line.
Well, Dick, I want to go back to Rex talking about the defense that Kerry Kittles has played on Chauncey Billups. Kerry saying, prides himself on knowing the nuances of his opposition's game, and then he tries to bait a guy into doing something that they think they want to do, like Chauncey thought he had the extra step, but Kerry will know that he can get there. Very smart. He does a lot of it by feel.
And he has got the longest tenure of any current Net. He's in his 7th year with New Jersey. And a 15-0 run here has left the crowd silent, and the Pistons with something that they have to really be concerned
I don't know
with.
if I've ever seen that. That was a jump shot. They hit the shot clock.
I have to tell you guys, offensively, the Detroit Pistons are still discombobulated.
Yes, they are.
Well, it's the reason why Ben is open. The other coach knows he can't shoot.
Kerry Kittles with the runner. Kittles now with 9, second leading scorer. And right now, the New Jersey Nets playing on the road are about poised the Detroit Pistons. And now Martin working against Ben Wallace, beats him to the basket, and it's slapped away. And retaken away by Lucius Harris behind the Kittles, who recovers. Harris finally. And how many layups did the Nets have a chance to make?
And how in the world? There's 4 Pistons down there, and 2 guards are getting every rebound that goes up. That was a pass by Lucius Harris, by the way, to Kittles.
And the foul is on Billups, his first, but how many great opportunities did the Nets squander underneath?
Lucius Harris has got to be thinking there's a lid on the rim right now. He's missed a couple of layups. But, I mean, great play by Lucius Harris. And watch this little flip here. That's a pass. That's a pass to Kerry Kittles. And look at these guys. Got to be thinking there's a lid on the goal.
And Kittles missing the first free throw. Kerry Kittles coming into the game is only 5 for 10 from the line. Coming into this game, number 5. But he has 9 points and 3 assists thus far. And gamely playing on that very sore arch, the plantar fasciitis.
And Rasheed should have been telling Scalabrine too little, because he's got no chance of getting a hand in that shot.
Inside out, Kidd to Kittles hitting the 3, his second three-pointer of the game, and 12 points
for Kerry Kittles. Meanwhile, the Pistons have gone empty. They are 0 for 6 from threes, and it's 38-29.
And I'm going to tell you something. The word point guard is used rather loosely in this profession, but when you look at Jason Kidd, you do see a point guard.
Nearly 3 minutes gone by in the third. Vic Stockton, along with Rex Chapman, John Thompson, D. Lynham, and this time on the baseline, Rasheed Wallace, and on the fast break, Kittles going up with the basket.
And how about that? Kerry Kittles knows exactly where to be. Jason Kidd gets that ball in his hands. He knows he's supposed to get his butt down the court and get his head under that basket. Jason will find it.
They got a great blend here. They got the veteran in Kittles. They got the energizer in Kenyon Martin. Jason Kidd, who sets people up. This is good balance on this team.
Very good balance. And as you see here, when Jason Kidd gets the ball in his hands, Kerry Kittles knows exactly where he needs to be. Actually, Richard Jefferson gets it in his hands. But he knows he's got to break out, run wide, fill the lane. He's going to get rewarded.
Running is a habit. I mean, it's not something that you know, Rex, you can get on a game that these guys know that if they run, Kidd most of the time handles the ball and will share it. And even if someone else has it, they run because they've gotten in the habit of doing it. But teams don't run sometimes because teams don't pass.
Right, and it's a very easy habit to get into when you play with Jason Kidd.
Absolutely.
Have not produced big numbers thus far.
Well, one of the reasons is that graph you showed with the guy scoring. If you want to stop them from running, you got to make baskets.
Matching their biggest lead of the game for Detroit. Kittles cuts it to 1 all of a sudden. Whenever the Nets have needed the big basket tonight, Kittles has been there. 17 points, 3 threes.
And that's big. And, you know, they're trying to get Rasheed Wallace in the two-man game, in the pick and roll. Jason spun baseline, and what a find.
And that's what we have here, Ernie, a pivotal game 5 as we welcome you back to the Palace of Auburn Hills. And a 2-2 game and a tie at 77. And it's time for Fast on Their Feet, presented by Lamisil.
You got Jason Kidd in a pick and roll. He fakes it going over the top, takes it baseline. And the beautiful part about this play is he draws every Pistons defender to him, and he never once thought about finishing that shot for himself, and finds Kittles.
There are 2 guys that you've got to watch out for right now. One being Jason Kidd, who thrives on this time of game.
I mean, this is an eternity compared to what the Lakers did last night.
All right.
3.9, come on.
Anything is possible. And the lead is 88-85.
Got to get it
right now, and Kidd are playing a 2-man game.
3-point attempt missed. And here's Phillips. Chance to tie or go ahead, and Phillips overran the ball in a 3-on-2 break. Jefferson leaves it for Kittles, and an offensive foul called, a charging foul. And Jefferson and Nets are arguing that call.
I think he was inside the circle. He was in the circle. He was.
You're right.
Greg Willard, Dick Bavetta conferred with Greg Willard, and clearly,
reversed it. Yep.
Clearly, Corliss Williamson was in the circle.
You know, and a lot of people won't like that, but I like it when they get it right.
I like it when it's right.
When 2 officials confer with one another to make certain that the call is correct.
No question.
Anything.
No question about it.
And Larry doesn't like it. And look at Larry.
Greg Willard, nose to nose.
Well, Larry and Lawrence Frank are getting into it a little bit. They have had a few words for one another.
Kittles misses it. Well, makes the free throw.
And here's the call. Richard Jefferson throws it back to Kittles. And as you see, by rule, Corliss Williamson is in the little smiley face there under, and that's got to be a block or a no call.
Officials got it right, as John said. And Kerry Kittles makes both free throws. He has 20 points. The lead is 4.
He's found a home here in Detroit. Wallace to Rasheed Wallace, a midseason trade with Atlanta and Portland before that. And inside he goes with the rebound by Kenyon Martin. And now Kittles, wide open.
That is what New Jersey wants to do. Quick hitting action, especially a guy like Kerry Kittles. Since he's moved over to play Chauncey Billups in this series, this whole series has changed.
Billups is thriving from outside normally, but in this series, as coach just said, things have changed on Hamilton. Shot clock is down to 10. And New Jersey is +2 in rebounding.
When you play against New Jersey, you got to get guys back. Almost your point guard's got to be back, and maybe one other guy. Right now, Detroit is trying to go to the offensive boards. It's now 7-0 fast break points as they just added another layup.
And Jason Collins. Rebound by Corliss Williamson.
That's 4 straight jump shots now from New Jersey.
And speaking of 4, that's what Detroit has hit. 4 straight shots and a turnover right there. Number 3 on the Pistons. Kittles against Wallace.
This is a guy who a few years ago, questions about would he ever play again. He had a horrific knee injury. They thought he might not be able to play. And he has come back. He gives them great speed in the open court. He's an underrated defensive player. And what he's allowed Jason Kidd to do is to go off the ball and play Richard Hamilton defensively. He's playing Billups. And now they're cross-matched when they try to get out and run. And he is a blur in the open court with the basketball. Has great speed. And that was a tremendous finish by Kerry Kittles.
Part of a core of Nets that have been here through the last 3 years and have really built some resiliency.
Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, anytime they get a chance, make the Nets interior defenders play.
Great pass into Kittles from Richard Jefferson.
I don't know why they're overplaying so much, Detroit. They're allowing New Jersey to play to their strength right now. The minute Kittles comes out like that, you got to let him catch the ball and make him shoot the ball under pressure. The one play that I was talking about, the backdoor cut, look where Richard Hamilton is, above the three-point line. And Kerry Kittles, what he does, he works against his vision. And you talked about eye contact. And when you play with a group of guys for 3 or 4 years, as this team has played together, guys know what the other guy's going to do out on the floor simply with the look that you give one another. It's a trust, it's a resilience that you talked about that's forged under playoff pressure. This team has had some tremendous playoff battles over the last few years to get to the NBA Finals.
Absolutely.
They got their defense back and they got themselves.
Billups started by Kittles, shot clock at 1, the fake by Chauncey, launching the 3. As Collins and Wallace battle, and here comes New Jersey.
And New Jersey scores here. Larry Brown will take a timeout. You got to take the surges, the runs out of the game, keep the crowd quiet.
Jefferson, Kidd, rotating to an open Kittles for 3.
When you shoot poorly, it plays into New Jersey's hand. It's a simple game. Pressure at the front of the rim. Detroit has started out this quarter 1 of 7. New Jersey has answered with a run. They trail by 8. Detroit has to talk about it.
You're watching the end.
Hamilton coming off the excellent Game 6, where he led Detroit in points and forced the Game 7 with a road win in New Jersey on Sunday. The turnover, and here's transition with Kittles. 4 early points for the Nets has quieted the sellout crowd.
You had a zone 1 possession. You have Kittles covering. You have Kittles covering Hamilton on the other possession. Both of them a little bit of a change.
It makes this team much tougher.
Go figure. Rip Hamilton 0 for 3. Ben Wallace 3 for 3.
You know what? You can see in his eyes how much more confident he is this year in taking that shot.
Kittles at 2. Nets in need of offense. Get it from the man with the longest tenure as a New Jersey Net. 7th year out of Villanova. Final minute, under 20 in the quarter. What else is new in this year? Kittles diving, lost it. On the run, it's Prince. Jefferson trying to stop him. Kick in the corner. Chauncey for 3. And the rebound by Martin. Hit on a push. Transition chance for Kittles. What a play! He lost the handle, spinning around. He put it back in.
All the things that the home court brings to a team. Energy, confidence, intimidation, intensity. All are right now coming to Detroit. Right now, the body language, the karma of New Jersey, they're searching. They're searching for a way to figure it out, where to go, how to get successful.
Sean Prince with Jefferson legally leaning on him. Big block. You know Prince is a lefty, doesn't go right often. Played it well. Transition 2 for Kittles. There you go, a couple of bang-bangs in transition, and Larry Brown will get a 22nd after the Pistons take it across midcourt.
I can't remember the last time New Jersey scored in the half court, but they do score in the open court.
12 break points for New Jersey. of their 30 tonight. 92 seconds before halftime. Jason Kidd, another miss. The Pistons can take it over 20 with the advantage. You guys alluded to it before. Ben Wallace never looked for offense in the half court last year. He is this year. Kittles can't complete the three-point play, but the foul is called on Ben Wallace.
That is 3 shots within 2 feet. You just got to be able to make. And watch this right here. The big fella, Ben Wallace, tracking him down, going to make him earn it from the line. I remember when he asked him if he could play both ways. And he meant basketball and football. They thought he meant offensive defense.
Just pick up his first foul. Wallace is a free agent who signed with Washington and earned his way into the league. Kerry Kittles inside the first Nets field goal of the half. They were 0 of their first 8 here in the third.
Keep him off the offensive board.
Rasheed Wallace going to the bench as Kittles makes his first. Corliss Williams ask you guys.
But Detroit can go through stretches too of 6 and 7 minutes where they may make 1 field goal. I know it's a little more difficult to hold them to that at home, but don't think Detroit's just going to keep scoring at this pace because they've proven they can go into a drought just as well as the Nets. It makes it his area. Heck, the whole court is his area. Right there, tracking down Kerry Kittles, not going to give up the easy bucket.
You have the expansion draft coming up where you must protect players. The Charlotte Bobcats will be picking at rosters. Kerry Kittles could perhaps be the player left unprotected. So a lot of off-season issues ahead for the Nets. Hamilton gunned up the triple, and back come the Nets the other way with Jefferson, who lost it. Rasheed Wallace goaltending as he blocked the Kerry Kittles layup attempt.
But I think the Nets are, I think they're in good shape. I still think they're a quality team in the East and give them a lot of credit. I mean, they had 2 years, a tremendous 2 years. Came up short against a better team this year, but they got a lot, they got a lot of good players in the team.
Guys, first thoughts on that series?
No one's going to score over 80 points.
Kittles, right?
I think 70. I think it's a grind, a possession, low possession.